Hello everyone, got top 10 slightly racist jokes for you today. So the U.S. Navy destroyer stops 4 Mexicans rowing towards Texas. The captain gets on a loud hailer and shouts, "Ahoy, small craft. Where are you headed?" One of the Mexicans puts down his oar, stands up, and shouts, "Gringo, we are invading the United States of America to reclaim the territory taken by the USA during the 1800s. The entire crew on the destroyer doubles over in laughter. When the captain finally catches his breath, he gets back on the loud hailer and asks, "Just the 4 of you?" The same Mexican stands up again and shouts, "No, we're the last 4. The other 20 million are already there." So a Russian tourist in New York found himself needing to get rid of a large supply of garbage from his recent stay at an apartment. After a long search, he just couldn't find any place to discard of it. So, he just went down one of the side streets to dump it there. Yet, he was stopped by a police officer who said, "Hey you, what are you doing?" "I have to throw this away," replied the tourist. "You can't throw it away here." "Look, follow me," the policeman offered. The police officer led him to a beautiful garden with lots of grass, pretty flowers, and manicured hedges. "Here," said the cop, "dump all the garbage you want." The Russian shrugs, opens up the large bags of garbage, and dumps them right on the flowers. "Thanks for giving me a place to dump this stuff. This is very nice of you. Is this American courtesy?" asked the tourist. "No, this is the Russian embassy." A Jewish man walks into a bar and sits down. He has a few drinks, then he sees a Chinese man and punches him in the face. "Ouch," the Chinese man says. "What was that for?" "That was for Pearl Harbor," the Jewish man says. "But I'm Chinese." "Chinese, Japanese, what's the difference?" And the Jewish man sits back down. Then, the Chinese man walks up to the Jewish man and punches him in the face. "Ouch," the Jewish man says. "What was that for?" "That was for the Titanic," the Chinese man says. "But that was an iceberg." "Iceberg, Goldberg, what's the difference?" So 3 guys, Asian, American, and a Mexican, are on a hot air balloon trying to get back home. Something punctured the hot air balloon, so now it's going down really fast. The 3 guys decided to throw stuff that they don't need away so the balloon won't fall down too fast. The Asian threw away rice and said, "I have a lot of this in my country." The Mexican threw away beans and said, "I have a lot of this in my country." The American threw over the Mexican. The Asian was like, "Why did you do that for?" The American said, "We have a lot of these in my country." A Pakistani boy took admission in an American school. On his very first day, as he entered his new classroom, the teacher greeted him and asked, "What's your name?" Nadir, with a touch of nervousness, responded in earnest, "My name is Nadir." However, the teacher, embracing the diversity that America was renowned for, had a different plan in mind and said, "No, young man, you're in America now, and we'll call you Johnny from today." With this newfound American identity, Johnny returned home after school, and his mother asked, "How was your day, Nadir?" But Johnny, eager to embrace his American persona, replied with conviction, "I'm an American now, Mom, so please call me Johnny." Both his mom and dad got offended by this and decided to teach him a lesson. The following day, Johnny limped back to school, bearing visible bruises from the previous day's altercation. His teacher, concerned about his well-being, inquired about the source of his injuries. "What happened, Johnny?" The boy spoke up saying, "Ma'am, just 6 hours after I became American, I was attacked by 2 Pakistani thugs. So a Mexican man, let's call him Carlos, applies for a job at the Pentagon. As part of the hiring process, they send a couple of agents to talk to the man's friends, family, and any associated to see if they can find anything that would show that he's not suitable for the job. When the agents go to talk to the man, they tell him that nobody from his hometown said that they knew him. When the man returns to his hometown, he first sees his 2 nephews. They run up to him saying, 'Uncle Carlos, Uncle Carlos. There were a bunch of feds looking for you, so we told them we had no idea who you are.' 2 Jewish guys are walking when one notices a sign on a Catholic church that says, 'Convert to Christianity, and we'll give you $100. The one says to the other, 'Should we do it?' The other says, 'No.' 'Are you crazy?' The first guy replies, 'Hey, $100 is $100. I'm gonna do it.' So he walks into the church, and little while later, he walks back out. The friend says, 'Well, did you get the money?' He replies, 'Oh, that's all you people think about, isn't it?' So on Tyrone's first day in the 1st grade, he returned home in tears. When his mother asked him why, he replied, 'The teacher told us to say our ABC, and all the little white boys could say them, but I could only get to E.' 'Why is that?' His mom responded, 'It's because you're black and they're white.' The next day, Tyrone was once again in tears. His mother inquired, 'What's wrong today, Tyrone?' Tyrone said, 'The teacher told us to count to 100, and all the little white boys did, but I could only get to 10. Why is that?' His mom replied, 'It's because you're black and they're white.' However, the following day, Tyrone returned home with a smile on his face. His mother couldn't help but ask, 'What happened today, Tyrone?' Tyrone grinned and said, 'Mama, we went to the bathroom, and my thing was the biggest of all.' 'Is that because I'm black and they're white?' His mom chuckled and said, 'No, Tyrone, it's because you're 17 and they're 6. So a teenager rolled up to the Mexican border on a bike. He had a sack of sand in his hand. 'What's in the sack?' asked the Border Patrol officer. 'Just sand,' said the kid. The officer didn't believe him, so he opened the sack up to find just sand. The officer dumped the sack empty and dug through it, but he only saw sand. He even took a sample to a lab to have it tested, but all signs showed it was pure sand. Reluctantly, the officer let the kid go. The next day, the same kid rolled up on his bike to the Mexican border with another sack in his hand. Again, the officer asked what was in the bag. He searched through the bag and once again had the sack tested of its contents, but it was just sand. The officer had no choice but to let the kid leave again. This went on for years. The officer was sure that one day the kid would have something else in the sack, and eventually he drove himself to insanity. He was fired and became a heavy drinker. One day, he was at the bar when the teenager who had been crossing the border every day with a sack of sand sat down next to him. The ex-Border Patrol officer looked at him and pleaded, "Look, all those times you were crossing the border, I know you were smuggling something. Please just tell me what it was and give me some peace of mind. I don't even work as a cop anymore." The kid said, "Bikes." So a black woman was filling out forms at the welfare office. Under number of children, she wrote 10, and where it said list names of children, she wrote Leroy. When she handed in the form, the woman behind the desk pointed out, "Now here where it says list names of children, you're supposed to write the names of each one of your children." "They all named Leroy," said the black woman. "That's very unusual. When you call them, how do they know which one you want?" asked the welfare worker. "Oh, then I just use the last names."